Oh, hello. Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa live. I'm Lisa. This is most definitely, obviously going to be live. And today I'm cooking up an amazing vegan. That's how we say vegan around here. But forget that word. It's like it doesn't matter. A delicious mushroom lentil stew. But before we get started cooking, please type in the comments, say hi. Let me know that you're here and that you can see me and hear me and that you can see my lovely lentils. Look at these. These poor guys are so. Hi, cousin Mildred, lentils. How about some lentils? Hi, Rob, vegetable. That's right, vegan and vegetable. Lentils are so sorely overlooked. They're just kind of, they're like the stepsister, Cinderella. Like they don't get all the play, like all the fancy, sexy stuff. They're just kind of boring, right? They're brown, they're green, they're kind of beige. No, lentils are so exciting, my friends. And here's why. Well, first and foremost, in my book, because they're absolutely delicious. If they're not delicious, forget it. But they are loaded with deliciousness and nutritiousness. Plant protein, 18 grams of plant protein in 1 cup of cooked lentils, 16 grams of fiber in 1 cup of cooked lentils. Are you in? Like, come on, why not? Let's go. Let me show you how I'm going to put together this lentil mushroom stew. Okay, but before I get started, I just wanted to make another little public service announcement while I'm tempting you with these beautiful mushrooms. Did you know that aside from being the star of this award-winning show, did you see me in the Grammys last Sunday? I also am a yoga instructor and a meditation teacher, and I've got a retreat coming up in the Smoky Mountains at the end of April. Rob, you're in for the retreat. Fantastic. Seriously, April 25th through 28th, it's going to be amazing. We did it there last year. It's such a beautiful spot. Okay, advertisement over. Back to my lentil mushroom stew. In my big skillet, I have got some olive oil where I sauteed some onion, some garlic, extra because I was hoping Emily might be here, some red bell pepper. Why not? Just because I love it. And this was my placeholder to remind me that I put ginger. This is not ginger, but I like putting fresh ginger in my mirepoix, if you will, or my mise en place, especially this time of the year because it just adds a nice little bit. Hi, Sabrina. Oh, stay till the end, Sabrina. It adds a nice little bit of heat, a little bit of spice, especially in the wintertime. But if you're interested in spice, don't go anywhere because there's going to be a big reveal at the end. Okay, so that is in there. And the mushrooms. I used some, hi Susan, I used a little bit of cremini mushrooms, which guess what? That's a marketing game. They're just baby portobellas and grown up white button mushrooms. And I added some shiitakes in there for a nice meaty bite. Okay, so I've got all my saute things in here: onions, garlic, ginger, red bell pepper. I tossed in the mushrooms. And the original recipe, which I got from the Minimalist Baker, which is one of my very favorite blogs, food blogs, by the way. I'll put the link to the original recipe in the comments. They suggested a splash of coconut aminos. Now, I happen to have these in my cupboard, so I'm tossing it in. I don't think you need to go out and buy anything quite like that. Basically, it's just like a soy sauce or, a nice flavor, little balsamic vinegar. That would also do. Ooh, here we go. Okay, now here are these lentils. You don't have to soak these kinds of lentils. They will cook. I just soaked them a little bit in some hot water this morning to help them along. Everybody needs a little bit of a help from their friends, don't they? Oh, I wish you could smell it. Can you hear it sizzling? Amazing. I'm not going to do salt just yet because those aminos are going to give it a flavor, a little punch, but I am going to give a nice, generous grinding of freshly ground black pepper. And look at this. I love thyme with mushrooms. I have some of these sitting around from my garden. I also have some dried sage sitting around from my garden, so I'm going to put one of those in. Be careful with the rosemary and the sage. They're really strong. They can overpower if you're not careful. Okay, I'm going to put that in there and let it cook. Oh, one last little thing, just for a little extra tsunami. I like a scoop of tomato paste in this recipe. You don't have to do it, but I think it adds a nice richness without getting tomatoey. And then we got to cook these in something veggie stock. I made a fresh batch this morning, but you don't have to do that. Remember, you don't really have to do anything if you don't want to. Even that bit about paying taxes, you don't have to pay your taxes. You really don't. You can do whatever you want. Don't tell the IRS that I said you don't have to pay your taxes. The point is you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make your own veggie stock. I like to. It's fun. But you can buy it in those cartons. If you do buy it in the cartons, just read your labels. Okay, so I've got all of this in here. Oh my gosh. Let's count the plants, people. Onions, garlic, ginger, bell pepper, mushrooms, 2 different kinds of mushrooms. That doesn't really count. Lentils. Remember, 18 grams of plant protein in 1 cup of cooked lentils, 16 grams of fiber. What else did I put in there? We won't count the herbs. That wasn't enough. So I'm already at least 25 different varieties of plants in this pot. Okay, so we'll cook that down, and I'm going to set it aside for now because, of course, baby, you got to be careful. I caught my tea towel on fire one day. Of course, I've made one up ahead of time to show you all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. If you didn't add the red bell pepper, it might be like, so kind of blasé, a little not colorful. And you can see why lentils just maybe get a bad rap. So you can see these little stems. I'm going to pull those out with the herbs. But the red peppers give them a gorgeous color. And then because I can't help myself, I'm going to throw in a handful of fresh greens. And you don't really need to cook those down. They will cook down just with the heat of the stew. Mushroom lentil stew. Okay, let me show you how I'm going to finish you off. Don't worry, I'm not going to finish you off. That was a little goop. I'm going to finish this dish off. So just to recap, onions, garlic, ginger, red bell pepper, all in a little bit of olive oil. Then some mushrooms, any kind. Wild mushrooms are great. I've got half creminis, which are really baby bells, baby portobellos, big white buttons, and half shiitakes, which I love for the bite. And then I put in some veggie stock. Remember, if you don't make your own, read the labels. They're loaded. They can be loaded with sugar, sodium, fake shit you don't want in your belly. And cook that all down. And then I threw in a handful of greens because I almost always do. And we've got so many varieties of plants in here. Look at how the greens just kind of cooked down there. And oh gosh, I got so excited about showing you. So a little secret that I actually got from the Minimalist Baker blog on this recipe. They serve this lentil mushroom stew over mashed potatoes. Could you just die? So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to turn this off so I don't burn myself and scoop up some of this amazing lentil mushroom stew. You can just eat it plain. You could put it on rice. And because I always like a little extra greens. And here's the moment you've been waiting for, the Spice Witch Chili Crisp. This is my crack, people. I love this stuff. A little drizzle of chili oil, of course. That's optional. But why wouldn't you? Let's check this out. Sabrina, that's a zesty batch you got going on there. I'm not kidding. It's amazing. Lentil mushroom stew. Why not? Serve it over some mashed potatoes, drizzle it with a little bit of Spice Witch Chili Crisp, chili oil, top some extra sprouts for another plant count. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. And don't forget, check out my retreat, end of April in the Smoky Mountains. Maybe this will be on the menu. I'll put info in the comments. Peace out, friends.